for other purposes. She could be trying to have other accomplishments or things that she wants to do. And I don't know. I think the jury is still very, very much out on that. And I think, like, she hasn't, like, what is her crime? Like, her crime is, hiring a former Kamala Harris and a former John Hickenlooper staffer? Really? Like, come on. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, you gotta wait for a little bit until you really start going after her. But, still, I do get why, people would be a little bit disenchanted, but still. It's a little ridiculous. Alright, we now turn... although I do say it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Interesting article in Politico by Alex Thompson and Holly Otterbein. Alright, we move on now to The Intercept, and last April, Tara Reid watched a familiar conversation around her former boss, Joe Biden, and her relationship with personal space unfolded on the national stage. Nevada politician Lucy Flores alleged that Biden had inappropriately sniffed her hair and kissed her on the back of the head as she waited to go on stage at a rally in 2014. Biden, in a statement in response, said that not once in his career did he believe he had acted inappropriately. But Flores' allegations sounded accurate to Reid, she said, because Reid had actually experienced something very similar as a staffer in Biden's Senate office years earlier. She saw an episode of the ABC show The View, in which most of the panelists stood up for Reid and attacked Flores as politically motivated. Reid decided she really had no choice to come forward and support Flores. She gave an interview to a local reporter describing several instances in which Biden had touched her and inappropriately behaved similarly, including during her early 90s tenure in his Senate office. In that first interview, she decided to tell a piece of the story, she said, that matched what had happened to Flores. Plus, she filed a contemporaneous complaint, and there were witnesses, so she considered the allegation bulletproof. The short article brought a wave of attention on her, along with accusations that she was doing the bidding of Russian President Vladimir Putin, of course, because that's the state the Democratic Party, thanks to people like Rachel Maddow, has been in these days. Any, valid accusation of sexual assault now, that's the bidding of Russian President Vladimir Putin. That's the new, if you drag a $100 bill through a trailer park, there's no telling what you find. That's the new method of discrediting Democratic sexual assault accusers here. It's really, it just shows you the dark path in which we are really heading here. Plus she filed a contemporaneous complaint. Anyway, so as the campaign went on, Reid, who first supported Elizabeth Warren, then Senator Bernie Sanders, began to reconsider staying silent. She thought about the world she wanted her daughter to live in and decided that she wanted to continue telling her story and push back against what she saw as online defamation. To get legal help and to manage what she knew would be some pretty serious backlash from her first go-around, she reached out to the organization Time's Up, established in the wake of Me Too, to help women tell their stories, survivors tell their stories. So the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund was the recipient of an outpouring of donations from the past 2+ years and is set up as a 501c3 nonprofit housed within the National Women's Law Center. It was launched in December 2017 and saw the most successful GoFundMe in the site's history, raising more than $24 million. Among the accusers backed so far by Time's Up are some of those assaulted by Harvey Weinstein, as well as scores of other allegations against executives in male-dominated industries. The group has committed more than $10 million towards funding these cases. So, in January of this year, Reid spoke with the program director from the National Women's Law Center and was encouraged by the conversation. The fact that she was a Sanders supporter had come up previously in an incomplete fashion. That didn't dissuade Time's Up at the time. The program director referred her to outside attorneys, Reid said, and suggested that Time's Up Legal Defense Fund might be able to provide funding and for PR and subsidize legal assistance. The program director shared with Reid the note she planned to forward to attorneys, which read in part, she began publicly sharing the harassment she experienced in April 2019, but was attacked online, including by Richard Painter, University of Minnesota law professor who worked in the Obama administration, and journalist Edward Isaac Dover. Oh my God. For being a Russian operative. There is more to the story of the harassment she did not feel safe sharing at the time. She's looking for support in sharing her story and guidance on any possible legal action she may be able to take on online harassers. Painter served in the Bush administration, not the Obama administration, but whatever. The references to Dover, a reporter with The Atlantic, and Painter stem from their Twitter posts that highlighted the favorable comments Reed made about Putin in a now-deleted post on Medium. What if I told you everything you learned about Russia was wrong? She had written in this 2018 post. President Putin scares the power elite in America because he's a compassionate, caring, visionary leader. To President Putin, I say keep your eyes on the beautiful future, and maybe, just maybe, America will come to see Russia as I do, with eyes of love. To all my Russian friends, happy holiday and happy New Year. Reed says that she actually ended up learning about Russia and Putin through a Russian friend in her creative writing group, and she's currently writing a novel set in Russia. She wrote the post in the spirit of world peace and solidarity with her friend, adding that the writing should have nothing to do with her allegation. Reed's leftist mother had actually raised her to oppose American imperialism and be skeptical of American exceptionalism. She hoped that Time's Up would help push back against the attacks that she knew was coming. So, yeah, Edward Isaac Dover. Yeah, it's kind of stupid. All right, whatever. So, yeah, pretty much just quoted that quote in his tweet. In February, she learned from a new conversation with Time's Up that had involved director Sharon Tijani that no assistance could be provided because the person she was accusing, Biden, was a candidate for a federal office, and assisting him could jeopardize their organization's nonprofit status. When reached for comment by The Intercept, program director Reed, the program director Reed had spoke to, referred questions to an NWLC spokesperson, Maria Patrick, who said the organization had legal constraints, which didn't seem to stop them at the time. So that's definitely something to look into. And I think there has not really been any evidence. Like Ryan Grimland's name to this, Katie Halper. They lend their name to what really seems to be a very credible story. And you really get the sense that if they could, the media would have already debunked it already. But instead they're just really trying to make it seem like a non-story by not talking about it at all. So hopefully Tara is hanging in there. So Tara Reid is her name, the latest accuser of Joe Biden in a pretty graphic sexual assault, which is really quite disturbing. She described the sexual assault at the time of 1993 warning. This is a graphic statement here. At the time, she told her brother, mother, and a friend who worked in Senator Ted Kennedy's office about the incident. Her mother has since passed away, but both her friend and her brother told The Intercept they recalled hearing about it from her at the time. Reed's friend, who asked to remain anonymous, as not to be part of the public blowback, said she discouraged Reed from coming forward at all, concerned that she would be attacked and that she would never get the apologies she was hoping for. Reed and her brother Colin Moulton both said that their mother urged her to call the police, but her brother urged her to move on instead. Woefully, I did not encourage her to follow up. I wasn't one of the better advocates. I said, let it go, move on, guys. Guys are idiots. Moulton, who lives in Georgia, said he voted for Gary Johnson in 2016. There's no intention to vote for either Biden or Trump. It was a very kind of graphic display here that I do encourage you to look at with this interview to Katie Halper. So go check that out. Very graphic and touching and groping and all that stuff. So yeah, very, very disturbing stuff, and we hope that she gets believed in the future. All right, we are a little bit crunched for time here, so let's see. We're going to move on to the best celebrity coronavirus fails. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, so who could have guessed celebrities doing internet crimes in the time of the novel coronavirus would flourish as a viral web garbage genre? Of course this was bound to happen. Obviously. It makes total sense that celebrities equate internet virality or even their mere presence online with getting stuff done to actually help people. It is not enough, however, to be rich and say, I see you, as NPR's Code Switch recently shared. Empathy can only really get a person so far, but it's certainly far worse to be rich and talk about the virus as if you learn the meaning of the word empathy. Yeah, so it should be said the general public has been as guilty as celebrities in their interpersonal behavior amid the public. Some react to the virus like Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert wiping his hands all over a bouquet of microphones at a press conference boasting about her supposed immortality. Some were like Vanessa Hudgens, shrugging the fact that people would die. Some people may die regardless of their own behavior. And several were like Gal Gadot and her friends, thinking, I'm not quite sure what the normal person equivalent of this would be. I don't know, clapping through the window at the driver, dropping off your delivery at the front porch would probably be the equivalent of what the Imagine song was for normal people. Maybe you and your friends make this stuff up, but here's the list. This is a Doja Cat on Instagram talking about the coronavirus. Let's see what she has to say.
Bitch, I'm not scared of a coronavirus or the beer version of that shit. I'm gonna get Corona and then I'm gonna get a Corona. Because I don't give a fuck about Corona, bitch.
Tell him.
It's a flu. I would literally. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Y'all pussy. Period. You just take some Mucinex and drink water and tea and sleep. That's all you gotta do. Y'all are so scared of some damn Corona. Y'all are so scared of Corona that I need a Corona.
Yeah, that's a great one there. Billie Eilish coming out and saying, really one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Madonna is another good one. I'll get to Madonna in a minute, but Billie Eilish with a very weird post. I hope everyone's hanging in there. It was nice. It's fine. I give that the stamp of approval. But this is a good one. Madonna hopped in her petal-filled rose tub and said this.
COVID-19, it doesn't care about how rich you are, how famous you are, how funny you are, how smart you are, where you live, how old you are.
I hope this music is original.
Stories you can tell. It's the great equalizer. And what's terrible about it is what's great about it. What's terrible about it is it's made us all equal in many ways.
Okay. Yeah, and this is again, picture, you're not able to see this, but she's sitting in a literal rose petal, a flower petal-filled bathtub naked, and she's curled over. She's like, the thing about coronavirus is, it's a great equalizer. So, very creepy. Yeah, so this is Casey Musgraves with a kind of obnoxious post about what history will remember. History will remember when the world stopped and the flights stayed on the ground and the trains didn't run and the cars parked in the streets. Like, it's just really stupid stuff about their presence. And John Mayer did this for us. Thank you, John.
Hey, everyone. John here with a Current Mood Mini. So this week, Gal Gadot and a bevy of other celebrities released a rendition of John Lennon's Imagine that went far and wide across the internet. I have to come clean about something. They actually asked me to be a part of this, and I totally misunderstood the assignment and thought they wanted me to sing Imagine by Ariana Grande from her 2019 smash hit album, Sweetener. They were nice enough to send over a cut. Take a look.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Me with no makeup, you in the bathtub, bubbles and bubbly, ooh.
Imagine all
Alright, yeah,
the people.
that's just not funny. This is depressing. Yeah, we have celebrities then they're trying to propose singing the virus away. Lionel Richie proposing a "We Are the World" remake for COVID-19. Like that's it's going to be very helpful. Thank you, Lionel. Like it. I mean, at least the thing I don't get, like you can sing all